Dealing 100 damage with an invincible Pokemon is insane. For 1 energy! Chow, how you doing? This is the coolest deck. This is the coolest deck for this Gym Leader challenge I'm doing. It involves invincible Dugtrios. Oh, best deck I ever built. It's so cool. But before I get into this amazing deck, I want to show you just a quick clip of the wrong version of this deck. That's blank because it's the wrong version. This was the thing I tried first. I'm just going to show you 30 seconds of this because I know you don't like it when the video goes too long. This is what I tried first. It was Dugtrio, Sudowoodo, Marshadow, and Primeape. Sounds really good, but the problem is against an electric deck, which I'm fighting the Electric Gym in this video. And by the way, Sachella's deck is genius. Steal their deck is so good. Sudowoodo not being able to retreat and not doing extra damage to non-EX Pokemon ended up being really weak against their Oricorio, Zerarora, and non-EX Raikus. Marshadow didn't have enough energy, and when I wasted an energy by putting it onto the Marshadow, they would just retreat the Pikachu away and attack with something else, force me to bring in the Marshadow, it would get knocked out, and then they'd bring Pikachu back. So this deck failed. I'm just going to get rid of that. Boop. And we're going to put the correct deck right down there. And now I'm going to show you the winning best of 3. This is amazing. This is some of the best Pokemon Pocket you'll have ever seen in your entire life. Game 1 was a little bit rough. It was a little bit rough. I had to go first. I started Diglett Riolu, which looks really great. It looks fantastic, but I'm fighting a genius. Problem is, Sachella is not your typical gym leader. They are a 300 IQ maniac. Right? They start off with EX Pikachu GA, so 2 energy does 90 damage, potentially. Really scary, can one-shot any of my Pokemon. They've got an Oricorio in the back, they've got Zerarora to give it extra energy, and then they do this. Turn 2 Sabrina. I get kind of stuck, I don't draw what I need, and they just eat through me with Pikachu. I'm not even going to show the first game. Not even going to show it. It's too much. So, I thought you said I was going to win. This is a best of 3. I've lost the first game. I have to win the next 2 to get this electric badge. What's going on here? And why am I a mess right now? Look, I was massively sick yesterday. I got a very bad headache out of nowhere. So alright, so game 2, I've got to go first again. Why do I keep going first? I think maybe we can take this, even though we're going first. I get EX Speed, which is really good. I put Rockruff down on the bench. Feeling pretty confident. I feel like, I'm going to get to use my strategy this game. And one of the cool things about this deck is that it has a lot of different modes. Obviously, Riolu is just there for support. It's just there to evolve into Lucario and give you more damage, similar to the Rampardos deck you might be more familiar with. But both the Dugtrio and the Rockruff are capable of attacking. Rockruff, evolving into Lycanthrope, is the best attacker, obviously, capable of dealing 100 damage to anything with more health, or 50 damage to anything with less. And which is perfect for fighting electric decks, because you do 50 damage to a 70 health Oricorio, you'll do 70, it gets knocked out. You do 100 damage to a 120 health Pikachu, it does 120 because it's super effective, it gets knocked out. So Rockruff is perfectly designed to assassinate anything on the electric deck. So I get an on-curve evolution into Dugtrio, and you might not know this, but Dugtrio takes no damage on the next turn if it flips heads. So with Lucario and super effective, I'm doing 80 damage a turn, and if I flip heads, I'm invincible. How broken is that? 80 damage for 1 energy, and I'm invincible next turn as long as I flip heads. And that wasn't a will flip, that was just a natural flip, because, strictly speaking, there's really no threat to me this turn. Oricorio's not going to do enough damage to KO me. It doesn't really matter that I got heads there so much, but it's still cool. And it will matter in the future, which is why I'm obviously explaining it now. It's a core part of the deck, that Dugtrio can become invincible. It's such a cute little triple mole. It's just kind of, with the very boopable noses. It's fantastic. So, Dugtrio's right in front. Invincible. Look, prevent all damage and effects from attacks. I can't be, like, just... I can't be affected. And Sachella's like, alright. They retreat, they go into Pichu, and they're like, we're just going to power up our Giga Pikachu. That's the only thing we can do. We're going to power up Giga Pikachu, because Oricorio is not doing enough damage to stop you. And it's just great. It's just great. They can't touch this. They actually can't touch this. I've gone from getting destroyed to dominating. But the game's not over yet. That Giga Pikachu will come online, and I don't have Will. So I can't guarantee that this is going to be heads. I could lose my Dugtrio right here, which would be pretty bad. I put the energy on Lucario because I don't have a Lycanthroc. I don't have the evolution for Rockruff yet. So just in case I need a backup attacker, I put the energy on Lucario. And then I get Tails. I get heads when I don't need it. I get tails when I need it. Typical coin flip Pokemon. Dugtrio is not invincible. It's completely vulnerable. And it can just get completely thrashed by the Pikachu. Whoops. Lucario can't really fight that well. It technically has enough damage to one-shot things like Lucario, but Giovanni plus regular Pikachu EX would knock it out, and I know they have those two things, so I'm not feeling that good. I get Sabrina here, and I decide to throw in Rockruff, and the reason I'm doing that is largely because I think I have another one in my hand, and I don't have the evolution, so I'm like, okay, disposable, I can get rid of this. I lose my adorable rock puppy, but they lose all their energy. Great trade. Sachella's really struggling right now since I was able to knock out their first Pokemon so quickly. It's actually set this energy demon of a deck back. I do draw Lycanthroc, and now I can power up my new Rockruff. Dugtrio attacks. I don't even bother using Will here, but I get heads anyway, which is happening 50% of the time, so that's reasonable. And now I'm invincible. And even if I wasn't invincible, they can't attack me this turn anyway. You might be noticing that I only get heads when it doesn't matter, and I get tails when it does matter. Typical coin flip Pokemon, that's how it works. That's my luck. Really, that's my luck. My luck is so bad that the first time I recorded this, my mic wasn't working because OBS disabled my settings for no clear reason, so I had to re-record this video that you're watching right now, despite me being on a rush schedule. That is how unlucky I am. Anyway, they decide to get Pikachu out of there, go into non-EX Raikou. Big threat. But I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried. I mean, the Sabrina thing, where they just, like, picked the wrong Pokemon, I was fine with that. And it didn't matter. I could have attacked with anything and won here. You know, Dugtrio wipes it out with 100 damage. It's a 100 damage Invincible Mole, because it also got heads at the end of the battle, with a double Lucario's. I mean, dealing 100 damage with Dugtrio is insane. Dealing 100 damage with an invincible Pokemon is insane. For 1 energy! Alright, so we managed to take them out, but we're only 1-1. I still have to win one more game, and I'm going first again. We're 1-1. I need to win this next game to get the badge. And I'm going first again. How is that fair? Have I gone first every game? That's okay. And I'm starting Rockruff, which, I'm going to make the pun one more time, is really rough. Ideally, this deck wants to start Diglett, but, you know, you only have 2 out of 6 basics that are Diglett, so the odds of starting Diglett aren't great. Starting Rockruff is fine as long as you're going second, but if you're going first, it's very difficult because your opponent will have enough time to KO you before you can get online, and that's pretty rough. They use an X speed to retreat Oricorio into Zerarora, which is really scary, because, you know, they're also going second, and they have that energy domination, and they have Electric Cord. So Sachelle basically gets infinite energy this game. And I get red carded. We get another Rockruff, a Will, and a Diglett, and what am I supposed to do with that? No evolutions, no hope, and they've got an Electric Cord Zerarora staring down my face. First thing I do, play Professor's Research. I want to give myself more options. Okay, Lucario, Pokeball. I can work with this. Let me see what the Pokeball gives me. I'm trying to get, like, more options. Riolu? I'm doing my best. But one of the big problems I have is that if I put the energy on Rockruff and draw Lycanthroc, right? If I do that, and Rockruff goes down, I will have no energy. But still, it's the best move I can make, so I make it. Signs of Evolution, I draw Lycanthroc, and I'm just hoping that they don't get Giovanni. As long as they don't get Giovanni, I'm fine. As long as they don't get Giovanni, I just evolve right into Lycanthroc, rah! And I'm going to take down Zerarora, and... Nice hat, Giovanni. Anyway, so Zerarora one-shots me. Very unfair. They got the exact shiny card they need. It's shiny, add insult to injury. Shiny Giovanni. I'm doomed. Or so it seems. Or so it seems, but we're actually not doomed. Because I make a decision and decide to send in Rockruff again. Why did I do that? Because I just drew the Dugtrio and I couldn't predict the future. If I had known that was going to happen, if I could have predicted the future, obviously I would have put Diglett forward, but I didn't know that I had that. So I send Lycanthroc forward, and now I can't retreat it, so I'm stuck with this. How am I not doomed again? Seriously, just drawing the Dugtrio at the worst possible moment, right after I made the decision not to play Diglett? Ugh. But that's okay. I've got 100 health. I can survive this. We'll counterattack, and then hopefully, somehow, Dugtrio can sweep for the win. That's my best plan at this point. I just have to hope they don't get Pikachu, because Dugtrio can't really deal Pikachu unless I get the guaranteed heads. Lycanthroc is my anti-Pikachu. It does 100 damage, 120 damage to Pikachu. But they retreat here. Weirdly enough, they decide to retreat here. I'm not entirely sure why they did it. I don't think they necessarily needed to. Maybe they just didn't want to damage the Lycanthroc. I don't know. That might have been a slight mistake or misplay from Sachelle. Either way, I'm going to pick up the KO, and it wouldn't have particularly mattered. Like, if they had attacked right there with the Zerarora, if they had attacked, I'd be damaged, and then the Raikou would have gotten the electric cord energy, and then could have come in to take me out. So yeah, I can only see that as a mistake from Sachelle right there. We'll see if it would have mattered by the end of the game if they hadn't made that mistake. Because then this would have KO'd Lycanthroc instead of just dealing 70 damage. So let's assume Lycanthroc is KO'd here. Then I would bring in Dugtrio and knock it out. It's hard to know if I flip pads or not. So yeah, a big mistake. I think it definitely mattered. I think that mistake could have made a difference. Anyway, I'm bringing in Lycanthroc here. Where I retreat. Oh, I guess it didn't make a difference. Okay. I retreat. It didn't make a difference because I retreated into Dugtrio anyway and use Will to guarantee the heads. So I flip. I get heads. I'm guaranteed invincible. And I've got this big threat on the bench. And even if I didn't have that big threat, remember that Dugtrio can do 80 damage. And Zerarora can't one-shot it, and I'm invincible right now. Yeah, it didn't matter. Dugtrio sweeps anyway. Dugtrio is OP. This mole is broken. This is the most powerful mole in the game. It's the most powerful mole in the entire game. Yeah, it didn't matter. It didn't even matter. And they're going to KO it anyway. Because remember, Dugtrio was invincible that turn. They couldn't attack it, so they Cyrused it in and take me out with Zerarora. Yeah, it didn't matter. It literally didn't matter. This is funny. The game is playing out exactly the same as it would have if Sachelle had attacked that Lycanthroc. It's playing out exactly the same way, but with more steps. Because it's actually hilarious. So anyway, at this point, I'm like, all right, I'll put energy on Lucario. I'll go for Dig here. Boom, 80 damage. Do I get heads? No, but obviously Zerarora can't just stay in and attack me, or it would get knocked out. So even though I'm a little vulnerable here, right? Nothing short of drawing Pikachu EX, 2 energy, retreat, elemental. Like, they'd have to have a lot of cards to win from this spot. So I was in a pretty good spot. I get attacked. All comes down to this, right? Do I need to retreat and bring in Lucario? No. I get a second Lucario. I play the second Lucario. And just for fun, another Dugtrio, because might as well. I retreat into the other Dugtrio, and I decide not to waste time with that. I attack. Dig does 100 damage. Let me be clear. I, for 1 energy, did 100 damage and became invincible next turn. Dugtrio OP. That's how I got the badge. It was pretty fun. I'm going to play some Pokemon ZA later this evening on stream. If you're around and you have the game too, check it out on Twitch. I'll catch everybody later. And I got my electric badge. I think like 2 more to go.